How can hyperautomation and AI transform the way your business operates, helping you stay ahead of the competition? In today's fast-changing tech landscape, efficiency is crucial. This episode of Techvibe explores how companies are using hyperautomation and AI-enabled apps to optimize operations, improve workflows, and scale their businesses without burning out their workforces. Keep on listening to learn how AI agents can automate complex business processes with minimal human input. Discover how industries like healthcare, manufacturing, and finance are utilizing these cutting-edge technologies, and understand the future of AI in business and how it can boost productivity and reduce operational cost. So keep on listening for the insights from Barinder Singh of Auxiliobits and uncover how your business can harness the power of AI to achieve operational excellence. Barinder, you're working on some cool stuff, and I just cannot wait to learn more. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today.
Thank you, John, and I'm looking forward to having a great conversation here.
Without a doubt. So, first and foremost, I just need to know a little bit about yourself and, of course, the elevator pitch for what Auxiliobits is all about.
Sure. Yeah. So for me, I'm the CEO of the company, and I founded it in 2018. I have a total of more than 20 years of experience in technology, and all my experience, led me to build something that would actually ease out human lives. And the technology that was at the hype of the Gartner cycle, that was robotic process automation by then. And that particular technology would actually take any enterprise process and automate that manual process, whatever people are doing on a computer, which is mundane and pretty straightforward.
Exactly.
So we started off building software robots, and then made those robots more intelligent by adding a flavor of AI to it. So business process automation is our nation. That's what we are into.
Very cool stuff. And this is just so important because, like you said, it frees up time, it creates efficiencies, and it allows companies to innovate. And it's all based on AI, which is, of course, everybody is talking about. So your timing is quite great when it comes to getting your company up and off the ground and everything like that. So maybe, just kind of tell us about some of your journey through all this and really like how is AI and RPA, how's that transforming business today? Because we just touched on it a little, but the idea we can go a little more detail would just be awesome.
Yeah, sure. So when we started, it was pretty straightforward, right? So we took manual processes on in an enterprise, maybe around an ERP, handling invoices, paying those invoices, and getting through an approval process. All of that was manual. I'll say that okay, there were applications that could automate that, but still, there were people who were actually doing that mundane stuff day in day out. So we started building software robots using platforms, which actually got us into automating all this kind of stuff. A software robot would actually deploy on a machine, and then it would actually perform all those human actions similar to what a human being would do with a keyboard and a mouse. Interact with different applications, read emails, or open a web browser, open a certain website, log in, and then do some data entry stuff. So that was pretty initial phase of what we did. A robotic process automation could actually automate all of that, and then once we had a maturity level in the technology, we would actually deploy certain AI tools as well, wherein that machine learning would actually know how to read different formats of invoices. Could actually use computer vision to understand different elements on the screen and stuff like that, so that the software robot became more intelligent enough to take decisions on its own. Although we had some human in the loop concept where if the robot was not that confident, it could actually go to a human being. Oh, hey, this is something that I figured out. Is this right or wrong? And when that input came from a human being, the bot would actually be more intelligent to not actually go to the human being the next time it faces the same issue or the same scenario, right? So that's how we build software intelligent robots, and put some intelligence into it. So that was the journey until 2023, and then the large language models came in, the generative AI came in, where the software robots were actually replaced by agents, AI agents. So we have quite a few transformation from software robots, intelligent automation to agentic process automation. So it's pretty interesting to know that in this kind of year, we are using generative AI to build those AI agents, and we can talk about that if you have those questions for me, maybe down the line.
Oh, that just gets so exciting for me when I hear that you're working at that level. What I thought was really interesting was when he mentioned the fact that like when it doesn't know, it'll actually then cue a human being to give it the answer, which it knows is going to be very accurate, and it just puts that into its learning, and it takes that on and becomes part of how it continues to work. That is so
Yeah.
cool. So, Brinder, I'm curious, like, what are some typical industries or companies within industries that you work with that is starting to deploy this technology that you're developing?
Yeah, we work with quite a few healthcare companies where we work on the revenue cycle side of things, where going to the payer websites are involved, claims filing, eligibility checks, and stuff like that. We also work on the patient doctor encounter part, the patient scheduling and stuff like that, so where the software bot could actually go in and then schedule an appointment for a patient if somebody is on a chatbot or calls in. Or if you need to file a claim of your all the appointments that you have looked into, we work with providers, with healthcare units, and companies like that to automate a lot of healthcare processes. And then we work with manufacturing companies
Mhm.
to automate a lot of their manual processes within their ERP systems. For example, some they receive vendor invoices. Their accounts payable can be automated using software robots. The robot can actually monitor an email inbox. Whenever it receives a new email with an invoice, it can read that invoice. It can extract entities from that particular invoice, and it knows what to do with that invoice because it has that logic built in. That okay, this is the vendor. This is the PO number against which the invoice has been raised, and this is what I need to do with this particular invoice. Maybe a data entry into an ERP, sending to somebody on an email for approval, and then once that approval is received, it actually goes in and authorizes the payment as well. So a lot of end-to-end automation can be done by minimizing that human touch within that process, so that you are, as you said, poised for scale. So you can actually address more volume of invoices with the same number of people you're having. And obviously, the software robots never get tired. They work 24/7. Saturday, Sundays are not off for
Don't
them,
get
and
the weekends off.
and you don't regret not giving them a weekend, right? So that's pretty
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. When I hear about the level that it's working at now, it makes me think about the future of this technology and what you're working on now that you probably can't even tell me about. But I'd love to know, like, where is the future driving on this? It's got to be just incredible and a little bit mind-bending at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, so robotic process automation, intelligent automation, hyper automation is, the is something that is here to stay. But I mean, we have other things that are coming in with the advent of generative AI, and that is agents, right? So AI agents are actually performing agentic process automation, wherein they are intelligent enough to even figure out that what needs to be done, when somebody is actually putting it to a high level query to that particular agent. For example, previously when I could tell a model that okay, I need to go on a summer vacation, right? And how many leaves do I have within my quota if I'm working somewhere? So then that particular model would give me a wrong answer. But now the models are so intelligent enough to use certain tools. They can go into your HRMS or an application within your company and then check okay how many leaves you have within your quota, and they can intelligently answer that. Not only this, John, they can actually be so intelligent enough to handle more complex queries. For example, if I say I'm going to a summer vacation next month, and how many ounces, 2 ounce bottles of sunscreen I need to take with me, right?
Oh my
And
goodness.
that particular model or machine learning model will actually figure out okay, I need to answer this, how many bottles of sunscreen she needs to take with her. But before that, I need to go into a certain website or a weather forecasting website, see that how much sun will be there in the next month or two, right? And it can even figure out, okay, these many leaves are left. She may go to a longer vacation because she had asked me this question previously, and maybe a 10-day vacation. And within these 10 days, how many days will be sunny and how many days will not be a sunny day, right? So you can actually then go to maybe a healthcare website where it says, okay, for going into a sun for 6 hours in a day, you may need these many bottles of maybe sunscreen, right? So it can actually go and figure all that stuff out and give you a ready-made answer. Maybe it can take like half an hour or so to figure those things out, but still, I mean, it will be pretty accurate. So this is the future that is looking we are looking into with the agents. AI agents are everywhere. In every department of a business, you can use those AI agents, and they are, mind-blowingly intelligent enough to, answer your queries.
Yeah, it's like having your own personal assistant at that point. And like I said, they don't need
Yeah,
breaks. They work all weekend for you. They don't care.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that is fascinating to me. That's absolutely fascinating. And to think that the industries like healthcare and manufacturing are deploying this, I'm assuming other industries have to be just very excited to deploy this type of technology to solve their respective problems.
Yeah, even finance, right? So banking, finance, logistics, supply chain, any technology you talk about, all those any company that you talk about, all those companies will actually be using those AI agents. I mean, they're already using robotic process automation software robots to automate a lot of their manual processes. But these, AI agents are industry agnostic, right? So they can actually be utilized in every industry to automate a lot of their processes and poise them for scale. Then manpower is not a constraint anymore, so you can actually use these robots to do your work.
Interesting. So, I mean, obviously, it's like, I mean, I go back to the old days of just like plain old like robotic process automation, the old RPA stuff, and that was kind of fine and dandy. But now you're looking at this whole other level. Just how much different are these agents than traditional automation tools? Because I feel like this is just complete next level stuff that you guys are building here.
Yeah, so traditionally, I think the agents were programmed to be trained on certain data set. And if you wanted to make that particular agent more intelligent, so you need to feed in more data and you required more resources, right? But today's agents, the large language models and the generative AI, chat GPT stuff, and if you build some intelligent agent, so they actually perform certain reasoning and act upon that. So they are intelligent enough to actually figure out a path which they need to take, and then figure out, okay, I have these tools handy with me. I can utilize maybe an API to go to a weather forecast website. I can utilize this particular database to find this particular information. So they are actually applying that reasoning and being more intelligent to actually perform certain actions.
Interesting. I don't know. Like I keep going back and saying this every time you keep talking about this, my brain kind of explodes a little bit. And I just think about the implications, what this means on the workforce. I know there's lots of naysayers out there like, oh, this is going to kill jobs and blah, blah, blah. And at the Tech Council and myself, we've always looked at this as like, this is helping to free the workforce up to do more important things, the things that aren't as monotonous and tedious and can make you actually a better worker. And of course, workforces are always going to be changing. Technology is going to change. So yes, there's going to be some people that are left in the dust, but it still creates this opportunity for people to do better and have more meaningful employment. Am I thinking in the right direction there? Is that what you think?
Yeah, yeah. So when computers were introduced, people thought they will take away the jobs, and then came the internet. Again, the same feeling. I mean, obviously, this is a little bit harsh because those things took some time. But this particular, generative AI or the
Mhm.
agentic AI, era is coming in pretty fast, and it may be difficult to adapt, John. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. But yes, I mean,
Yeah,
we need to adapt. We need to
absolutely.
understand. Okay, this is how we need to use the technology. If we are not, able to use the technology will obviously use us. That's how I see it, right? So I'm working with certain programmers, and I always tell them, okay, you guys need to use the tools which are available to speed up your work,
Right.
and they can obviously go to chat gpt, get certain lines of code written and then use them in their scenario. The only thing is that they need to take care of the business logic that is in, and they need to be prompting enough, intelligent enough to the model to actually get output as needed. So we need to adapt
Absolutely.
pretty quickly.
Oh, 100%. So, I mean, I think you raised a really good point there, the fact that this technology is sweeping so quickly right now. And that to me is just like, I think why people are so freaked out because other technology, advances took a couple years, 3 or 4 years. We're actually seeing things change monthly in some
Yeah,
instances here when it comes to
yeah.
all things AI. So yeah, I know there's fear out there, but I just see the opportunity of these tools that you're building and how that can just really move us all forward. And that gets me like just super excited. But that doesn't mean there's challenges, right? I mean, as a business to employ these tools, it's not just like you snap your fingers and these tools are working. There's challenges to implement these technologies. Maybe tell us a little bit about some of those challenges.
Yeah, I mean, the first and foremost challenge is you need a sponsor within the organization to change, right? Because I think
Okay.
the businesses, the medium to large size businesses, is pretty difficult for them to change. And I think the CXO level people are actually realizing that pretty quickly, and they are actually willing to actually adopt this particular change. And this is the first constraint that we feel when we go to an organization and see, okay, we need to do these processes in a different manner wherein the technology will take over, but manual work will be limited to governance or maybe guiding the particular agents that you guys use. So that's how the first challenge starts in. And for implementing, obviously, the data where you get that data to tune that model, and then have certain tools available to the agents so that they can actually bring that context of an enterprise within that. And on top of it comes the governance and the security that we need to deploy upon those reasoning and actions that a agent would take. You need to constrain that particular agent within the context of the enterprise rather than going to some kind of a public cloud or maybe getting that data somewhere else. So
Exactly.
a lot of governance needs to come in.
Yeah, guardrails are a big thing for sure to make sure that your agent's not
Yeah,
in weird spaces to provide recommendations for you, without a doubt. But
yeah.
all these challenges really just create opportunities as far as I'm concerned, because yeah, it's a challenge, but as companies deploy this, they're just going to start seeing more ways that this can be used. I think it just opens up this door to just keep growing and to keep innovating and to keep creating efficiencies.
Yeah, a lot of out of the box agents are being developed. I mean, Salesforce actually developed its Dreamforce with more than dozen agents. You can actually go in, plug and play your tools, and get that agent intelligent enough and get going. We are also building certain agents. One of the agents that we built was a customer care agent, which could actually receive a call from a patient to book an appointment with the doctor. So that agent is intelligent enough to understand, okay, these are the appointments which are available for this particular doctor on this date, and this is what that patient is asking for. And then it could actually communicate real time in natural language over phone with the patient to actually book an appointment real time, on that EMR which the doctor may be using. So, you can actually replace that customer care agent, which is actually only communicating with the patient to book an appointment with an AI agent, right? So we are also building certain out of the box agents which can be used plug and play.
Exciting, exciting, exciting. I mean, we've covered a lot of territory here, and my mind is spinning a little bit, but it has me very excited. And just know that companies like Auxiliobits is here. You guys are leading the way in this type of technology. To me, it's just fascinating. I mean, what are some of your final thoughts as we kind of wrap this up? I mean, obviously, that's kind of a big open question, but like, just if you could kind of bring down some key things that you think we should be taking away from a conversation like this.
Yeah, I think we must keep our minds open and eyes open and understand what is happening around, and we should not be taken by surprise because a lot of things are changing, right? So, a company in Spain actually shut down its Workday and Salesforce subscription and laid off like 700 people, and they said, okay, we have built our own agents which can do the same work that these two big applications they were paying heavy prices in subscription and 700 people were doing for them. I mean, it's just that people need to adapt and understand what is happening around and how things are changing so quickly, and stop living in silos, right? Even people who are in the decision making process within a company, they need to adapt as quickly as possible.
Good stuff all the way around. And just if anyone wants to connect with you, we have all your contact information and your website here in the liner notes, of course. I encourage everybody, like if you want to learn more, reach out to Verinder. I'm sure he's happy to talk and just think these things through with you because I think every business is contemplating AI, but the idea is making it actionable and something that you can actually implement. Because I think some people sometimes just want to do it to say they're doing it, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you find a real way to make stuff happen. And Brenda, I can't thank you enough for just shedding some light on this. It definitely has me pretty charged up for the future of automation and just helping businesses be more efficient. And more importantly, helping workers just be more creative and get more done with less stress, I think is maybe what it comes down to. At least I hope.
Yeah, and thank you, John, for having me here, and hopefully, my conversation is helpful for the people who are listening. And I'm available on LinkedIn. Drop me a message, and we can have a one-on-one. So I'm pretty available.
Fantastic. We'll put your LinkedIn there as well too. I like that because sometimes that's even easier to get in touch with people as a quick LinkedIn invitation and conversations can begin from there. Brenda, you are the best. Once again, hanging out with Auxiliobits. This is Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council.